So you're building a swimming pool, and you're spending an awful lot of money here. But what are some areas that may be worth spending a little bit more on? Like, I mean, you're going to be presented with a host of upgrade options throughout this project, and it maybe could be a little bit, difficult to determine where the money goes because you can't have everything pretty much. Like if you're building a pool, it's already such a huge luxury. Everybody comes to the table with this really elaborate design, waterfalls and all this crazy stuff, and then you get the price, and it's like, okay, let's go back to the drawing board here, and we'll just start with a basic pool. But I do want to get some value for my money here. Where should I spend it? And the first thing I'm going to say here, well, it wasn't even going to be on the list, but I'm just going to mention it quickly, is a variable speed pool pump. Since 2021, the Department of Energy requires that you have a variable speed pump or a pump which meets an efficiency standard, which almost only variable speed pumps can meet in order for your filtration system. And so it's not really an upgrade anymore. You're pretty much going to have one. So I'm just going to move on from that. It is definitely worth the money. It's something you have to invest in, but you're going to get your money back over time and probably even some extra on top of that. So what's the first area that maybe you should actually spend some extra money here? And I think filtration is the first thing that I'll mention, because what's the number one filter out there for swimming pools? And the answer is a sand filter. It is the most economical way to filter your pool water. And it leaves a little bit to be desired in terms of flow efficiency. It leaves a little bit to be desired in terms of the maximum design flow rate. And then also you have the water, conservation consideration. More and more places are dealing with water conservation issues, and backwashing a sand filter is something it needs to have done regularly. And if you have a problem discharging your water or refilling your pool every time you're backwashing your sand filter, this could be a problem for you. And so for that reason, and for the reason that you just want a high quality of filtration of your water, this is a pretty important thing. Do you want the water to just be passably good enough, and at night you can see lots of little floaties flying around in the water? Or do you want to go the extra mile, buy a filter that's going to remove some finer debris there and maybe have a little bit better of a hydraulic design? For my money, I like a cartridge filter. And basically what it comes down to is this. For a given pool size, if you want to go from sand filter to cartridge filter, you're looking at about 3 times as much money. However much that sand filter was, times that by 3, that's about what a comparable cartridge filter is going to be for this pool. That's a lot of money. I like to say, just really simply and easily, a cartridge filter is 3 times more money, and it's 3 times better of a filter. Kind of a linear comparison. And if you look at the size, the micron size of debris that a cartridge filter removes, it is about 3 times better than a sand filter. It's still not as good as a diatomaceous earth filter, and I suppose that's worth mentioning. They're not very popular in my area, and it's not everybody likes working with DE. But if you are pursuing the clearest water possible, I suppose I'd look at that. For my money, a high quality, very large cartridge filter is the best thing that you can get for a swimming pool. And so that's what I would choose. And I do consider that to be worthwhile as an upgrade item. And it's, you got to be talked into that. Like, so the sand filter will work fine, but you want 3 times as much money. It just depends on what you want for your swimming pool. And if you don't want to have to, backwash a sand filter every week or two, for whatever reason that is, or if you just want a higher quality water filtration, I would look towards a cartridge filter. It is more money, but you're getting something for it. So what else would be a good allocation of your budget here? And I would recommend to look into increasing the diameter of the pipes used to build your swimming pool. And I would give that specific reference to the suction lines in particular. And the reason is simply because slow moving water moves very efficiently. Fast moving water, very inefficiently. And so you want slow moving water in your pool, right? Don't you want to design the pool such that it's going to be efficient to operate your pool? And one of the actual ways that you accomplish doing that would be having larger pipes. Like, this is a calculation. You don't just bolt larger pipes into every swimming pool, but it is something, if you're in the design stages for a swimming pool right now, I would be asking about that. What size is the plumbing? If it's 1.5 inches, get out of here with that, unless you're building a tiny swimming pool. Suction lines for modern pools should be 2 inches minimum in size. And if you're looking at a pool plan that includes a pool pump that's like 3 horsepower in size, which is gigantic, you probably need more than 2-inch pipe. Like, you would need a bunch of 2-inch pipes and a larger trunk line at minimum, but you could be looking at 2.5, 3-inch, or 4-inch suction lines for a pump that powerful. Again, this is all a calculation, and there's a point of diminishing returns here for oversizing your pipe, but up to and including 2.5 inches, pretty common for modern day swimming pool installations. And if you're up in the 30,000, 40,000 plus gallon range for your pool, which is pretty big by modern standards, you should be looking at larger plumbing because you have a huge pool. You should have large plumbing to accommodate that and to account for your filtration turnover, doing so in some sort of efficient manner. So where else can we spend your money here? Well, I would definitely look towards some sort of peripheral sanitizer. I definitely like that. And give you some examples here. A germicidal UV light, as an ozone system even. AOP, I would take over an ozone system. It's basically like a ozone system on steroids essentially anyway, and so that's why I would take that one. But all of these kind of perform the same function. They do a bunch of heavy lifting to keep the water clear. They sanitize, they oxidize, they do things like that. Primarily, the function here is they're reducing the amount of chlorine that you need to use in your pool. Each and every of these peripheral items actually consumes your chlorine as part of the way that it functions, but there's a net positive benefit here in adding this to your system. Let's say in a given year, you're going to use like half as much chlorine as you used the previous year, and that means you're going to be doing less other chemical treatments as a result of that as well. Just less chemical involvement in your pool, basically, by adding one of these units, which is going to help you to destroy chloramines as they're being created by your chlorine, as well as directly sanitizing and oxidizing the organic debris and bacteria, etc., that's in your water. Okay, so all of these are great things, and we've spent a bunch of your money so far. But the point of this video, maybe the big takeaway, these other things are just, a couple of good items to think about, but this is the one. This is the big one, and you'll be pleased to know you're going to get something for your money here. Spend a lot of money on lights. Well, don't spend a lot of money, but spend a lot of time designing the lighting system for your pool. You could just put one light in. A light in your pool is actually part of the minimum safety equipment for a pool because you need to be able to see inside of the pool at night. What if there was somebody in distress and they needed help at night? You wouldn't be able to see, and that's why you need a pool light. And it doesn't take a lot of light to light up an entire swimming pool, so one light will pretty much do it for that purpose. That being said, I think you'd agree doing more than the minimum amount of flare would be fun here. And so adding a couple of lights becomes an option. And so the first thing I'd say about that, when you're designing, you're kind of limited to where your lighting goes. You really should be placing your lighting where it is not directly visible from your main seating area around the pool or from the house, because it's going to, kind of ruin the effect here. You want to see the backlit water. You don't want to see the point of origin of the light. So you have a minimum space to work with. This is where you're going to put your lights, and there's two styles of lights really to choose from. There's what we call pool lights, which is like your big dinner plate sized lights that are as bright as the sun, and nowadays come in color LED, and they're a lot of fun, really fantastic. And one or two of those is enough that you could see the average pool from outer space. So you don't really need to go overkill with these, which is great because they're super expensive. But there's another style of light, which are called nicheless lights or accent lights, and they're much smaller and much, much dimmer. It's become commonplace to see people using these as their primary light source in modern day swimming pool installations. And I'm not a huge fan of it. Like I mentioned earlier, it doesn't take a lot of light to be able to light up a pool, and it's true. But these things are like, it would take a lot of these lights to equal one pool light. And so if you're going to go with accent lighting, I prefer to use it for its original intention, which was accenting hard to reach areas or lighting areas which are shadowed from the big pool lights if you've got like a crazy pool design. And these lights also have the benefit, the nicheless ones, of being able to install them in shallow water. That's not something you can do with a regular pool light. And so it helps you to install lights in like a ledge or a shallow area, things like that, maybe underneath of a waterfall to light it up. I would use them for that purpose, but I would use them in addition to one or two of the main pool lights. And the good thing is these units can all tie together through your automation or through your lighting controller such that they can work together to create like lighting systems, or all have the same color at the same time, or they can create this like crazy lighting show where lights are chasing each other around the pool. And the point simply being is, for all of the money you are going to be spending building this pool, aside from swimming, which in and of itself is the point here, other than that, all of the money you spend is going to be on passive stuff like the filter and that germicidal UV lamp and all that other great stuff. It's doing its thing for you. The VS pump running away, saving you money, slowly over a long period of time. All that's wonderful. But the lighting is one of the few things that you, every time you go swimming, you're like, oh, I turn on the lights, and today it's this color, and tomorrow it's that color. And when you're in party mode, don't you bet you're going to have all of your lights running and doing their thing. And wouldn't it be nice if instead of just one single light, you had, like a little bit going on here for your lighting system? It's, again, one of the few areas that you're really going to get the opportunity to interact with your swimming pool and really enjoy it and use it in a way that, it's different night by night, that kind of thing. Other than that, everything else is passive. It all costs you a ton of money. Each of these things I've mentioned costs you a lot of money. Even just to do the 4 some odd things I mentioned here would be thousands of dollars of upgrades. So you just got to really decide for yourself where you need to put your money, because you're hemorrhaging money like crazy when you're building a swimming pool, and every part of it can be upgraded in some cool and awesome way, which will cost you another $10,000. But don't you want your pool to be awesome? Upgrade the lights. I think that's something that people who have had a pool built, when you come back to them after the fact and say, what do you like? What do you don't like? What would you do differently? Lighting is something that everybody references in one way or another, and it's usually to say, I probably would have gone with a little bit more lighting. It's one of the few fun things about your swimming pool. If you found this information helpful, please be sure to like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And you can check out my website, swimmingpoolsteve.com.